About a week ago, I played the first hour or so of Fallout 4, and while that particular bunker isn't exactly designed for people to live in it long term, I figured that I'd try and build what was advertised, aka a state of the art living facility that also happens to be zombie proof. Let's get started. Now, all bunkers need entrances, so that's where I started. Finding siding to use was a bit annoying, seeing as there are no metal walls in The Sims 4. At least, there aren't any in the packs that I own, so... There are metal roof swatches, however, so roofing ends up being rather easy for this build. Granted, I do end up completely rehauling the entrance later on, so, that happens, but for now, we stick with simple brick walls. And the factory doors from the Wolf Pack, while the interior has a stairwell down into like a processing facility. I then stick some pipes on the wall for vibes, basically, and lay down a metal floor. I then get to work on designing a processing facility, or sort of a check-in for the bunker, if you will, so that, no contaminated people get in the bunker. I do take a bit of inspiration from Fallout 4 here, specifically the idea of decontamination pods, or in this case, fancy-looking showers. I'm sort of going for airport security vibes here, almost, except make it more apocalypse-y and, like, warehouse-y, I guess. After marking down the general lanes I'm going to be using with the tape from the Getting Famous pack, I set up a desk area because, processing. That involves computers, I'm fairly certain. After that, I stick in the decontamination tubes, aka showers, and then work on a bit more of the whole finicky side of things, like swatches and arrows telling people where to go. After adjusting the lights a bit more, I then stick in the stairs that will be going down to the next level. After which, I switch out the tape for some security fences, since, tape won't exactly stop a zombie or any other dangerous mutant thing. Like, imagine an apocalypse, but instead of zombies, it's geese. Like ostriches or something. Let's say both. An apocalypse, but it's a bunch of mutant, murderous tank birds. We'd need a better fence then, I think. Anyways, by this point, I've sectioned off the computer area as well, added some security doors, and now we're working on the next level. I struggled a bit to figure out what I wanted to do for this level, and seeing as right after the entrance didn't seem like a good place to, build living quarters or anything, it feels like there should be a transitional space. So that's what this floor ends up being at first, a glorified airport lobby lounge thing. The problems with transitioning probably weren't helped by making the check-in room completely factory, but hindsight is 50-50. This is also my first time encountering the ceiling mechanic that was added several weeks ago. And that was incredibly confusing for a while, so, excuse that, I guess. This floor ends up being incredibly boring, but we get rid of it later, so don't judge me too harshly, please. Anyways, I stick in some seating areas, switch out the lighting, and add some rugs and coffee maker areas, Airport lounge. Airport. Not airport. After that, I add in the staircase to the next level, and work on making that transition from modern to residential, mostly using white wood swatches. And then it's time to figure out the floor plan, which was tricky because the goal is to fit as many families in as small of a space as possible, while still looking nice and being, state-of-the-art living facilities. I eventually decide on making copy-paste modules for various family sizes, and originally they're divided by floor, but that gets switched up later. The bathrooms I stick with 3x2, center door, bath shower, toilet sink deal. Then comes fitting a kitchen, bedrooms, and a living room, so brace for a bunch of camera spasms here. After figuring the basics of that out, it's time to decorate, and because these are universal units, I do, unfortunately, have to take the route of making them as unoffensive as possible. Like when you're selling a house and you have to paint all your walls gray. I want it to still feel homey though, so I do use wooden floors and cream walls so that it's not too sterile, but it's not too dark, and it's also not neon. I do end up using white tiles for the bathrooms, and white swatches for all the utilities in them as well, though I do use a couch swatch with some accent tech colors that I tie in with a yellow speaker as well. Each living room also gets a rug, and then it's time to figure out the kitchen, and some sort of dining room. Continuing with the inoffensive colors, I use the kitchen counters as a space to eat, seeing as this area is designed for couples or single people. Okay, being morbid for a sec, would single people be like allowed in bunkers because they're, not contributing to the population? Okay, apparently I'm writing the script while in a morbid mood because my brain just went to all of the morally corrupt things companies would totally pull, even beyond the whole, cyro freezing from Fallout 4. So we are moving on before I make myself sad. Fitting the double beds and dresser into the rooms was pretty annoying, and so was finding a gender-neutral switch that wasn't gray. The patterns are also flowery? Okay, maybe not gender-neutral. The term I was looking for wasn't gender-neutral, but like style-neutral, Can't have the people who don't like flowers hating their rooms. Anyways, after finishing up the bedrooms, I just copy-pasted the suites, whatever they're called. Apartments. Let's go with apartments. To fill the rest of the floor. After that, I put some red carpet down in the hallways, added some brown wallpaper, added a couple plants, yada yada yada, and it was time for the next floor. Now, this floor is also residential, however, I originally wanted it to be dedicated to housing larger families, with the rather morbid reasoning of families with children would be more valuable and therefore farther down, so if something does break in, there are more chances to stop it. This results in me dinking around a bit, trying to figure out how big each suite needs to be without being too big. We are trying to fit a bunch of people in here. I do eventually start putting in rooms using the same bathroom setup I did as in the single suites, as well as 2 bedrooms. The positioning did take a bit of finagling to also be able to fit a kitchen and a living room in, so there's that. After getting a bit more of an idea of the layout, I start to try and figure out the kitchen's layout, because we will still need to sit these people somewhere, though I do eventually start moving rooms around again. Yippee! After large amounts of rearranging and resizing, I finally land on what will be the final layout, with a few adjustments. Which, of course, means it's time for decorating. Now, I use mostly the same swatches because, these are basically hotel rooms for the apocalypse, which means they aren't personalized, yada yada yada, boring interior decoration. I do end up using some darker wood swatches, so there is that. These suites also get plants. I think I like the final bedroom design a bit more. The final teen bedroom design does end up a bit dubious, though I blame that on the lack of matching swatches. after finishing up that, I just copy-paste this room suite across the rest of the floor. And that is when we run into our problem. You see, The Sims 4 has this thing called a build limit. You can only build so far in either direction. Now, up to this point, I only knew about the build limit in the upwards direction. I typically do not build numerous basements. This is not normal activity of mine. So, this was rather unexpected when I realized, oh, I can't go down any further. And at first, I thought that it was a bug, a glitch. The Sims would not limit me in this way. Spoiler alert, they would. I'm still adding plants, but you shall soon see. Yep, they will. This is me realizing. Yep, realization hits. Alright, so we are switching out. We're basically moving everything up, and then just deleting the airport lobby. Really, we lose nothing, we gain much. The airport lobby disappears. Nobody likes airport lobbies. I don't know why I designed it in the first place. It is a disgrace and a dishonor that I did in the first place. The roof becomes more complicated, which actually is a downside. I lied, there are downsides to this. So, also another downside, you know, getting rid of everything from the first floor was unnecessarily complicated. I do not know why it was so complicated. It was very strange. I did not like it. Anyways, this floor that we are currently working on is going to end up being a activity area, a mall, if you will. So there's a daycare, there's a pool slash splash pad, that's the word. There's a splash pad, there's a library, and there's like a indoor park thing for kids to burn off energy. So here I am, designing the daycare. Cribs for infants, because infants need cribs. At the moment, there really isn't a color scheme going on. I just went kids, colors. What kids flooring is there? This. Put it down. Put down some wallpaper that doesn't look horrendous with it. This is designed for infants, toddlers, and children, which means that I have a lot to cram in a very small space, so it is fairly cluttered. I thought about putting a pool in there at one point. So I also add in a table for them all to, I don't know, eat at. I don't know what they're doing at the table. They're doing something. And I don't know why everything freezes here, but it does, and then like something weird happens right after this. Yeah, you see this? Look it, I don't know what happened there. Anyways, at this point, I keep on designing, as one does. Oh yeah, there is also a little snack machine out there. And now I am designing the pool. I don't really design pools. This is also not something that is a regular activity, especially not indoor ones. So I need to make the pool area bigger than I thought I would need to, which was inconvenient. I don't know pool design. I put a decal down on the floor and I added some lights and I called it good enough, and then I made all the tiles blue. That's how pool design works, right? Splash padding, it took a very long time for me to realize that splash pad swatches were a thing. It was bad. I didn't. At this point, I think I've realized that swatches are a thing, but I didn't at first, which is awkward. The statues are cool though, like the flower and the leaves. That's cool. I don't know, I like designing splash pads and pools and stuff. I should do like a full pool build at some point. Anyways, at this point, we are designing the... Actually, no, we're putting down vending machines. That is crucial. Anyways, at this point, we are designing the have your children burn off their sugar high area, aka an indoor park. If you've never been to... of course you've been to an indoor park. If you haven't, you missed out on a crucial part of your childhood. Anyways, I put in some climbing areas, a swing set. I've actually never been to an indoor swing set. This is slightly abnormal. I put in bikes, also abnormal. and monkey bars, slightly less abnormal, and some green carpet to pretend to be grass. Did I also mention that? That is far from abnormal. Oh, we're already on the library. Okay, I put in bookshelves. This is very not interesting. And I put in tables for the adults to do their adulting jobs at. You know, they do their typing, and they type, and it is very fascinating, I am sure. And here I am designing a little teen nook for them to, like, I don't know, hang out and read books and do homework. I wish there were more I wish there was a teen book nook at my local library. It's not. There's a kids area and there's an adult area. There's no area for teens. They do have some, like, cool events, I think. Anyways, here this is for the inevitable group projects, okay? It's an apocalypse, but that doesn't mean you're escaping the group projects. And now we are designing a refractor cafeteria thing. I'm using the cafeteria thingamajigs anyways, because I don't have the, like, going out, eating together. I don't know the restaurant pack. I've heard it's glitchy. I don't know if I want it, to be honest. So I put in a fridge, I put in a microwave, there's vending machines, and there's a cafeteria thing. What more do you need besides seating? Which I overclutter this at first, which, awkward. I get rid of all of the dark blue tables here, basically. I think that's what happens, at least. Am I right? I think I'm right. We shall see very soon. Yeah, no, I get rid of all of them. Look at that! I can see the future. Alright, we keep on placing tables and rearranging and rearranging and rearranging and adding tile. That's a difference. Anyways, we, at this point, put in staircases down to the airport lobby level, which means we finally get to destroy it. And we pretend that this monstrosity was never designed. It's also at this point that I learned that, like, pools are an actual thing that, like, go down levels. I didn't know that before. I do now. I really meant it when I said I don't design pools often. Anyways, we copy-paste rooms into the thing, and this is the part where the families and the singles start getting all, like, mushed around together so that they're not completely separated. What is happening here? What more can I tell you other than that I am copy-pasting? Oh, I do add a basketball gym to this level. I don't know, and yes, look at me. I am designing the basketball gym. It's just like a fake court. It's not like the whole thing. The room isn't big enough for that. But it is there. I have not deprived my Sims of playing basketball. You are welcome, any Sims that end up using this. I mess around with room placement a lot, trying to fit more in, as one does in builds such as this. I move a lot of stuff around, but all that ends up changing is the fact that I put a room in, like, the center of this blob. So, I hope you are ready to watch a bunch of camera spasms. And spams, I guess. So here I have added in the second thing, and this means we are going down to the second residential area. Eventually, what designing is happening here? I'm trying to fit a staircase. I think it's going poorly. This looks like adding a staircase is going poorly. I'm going to be real. It looks like it happens eventually though, so that's good. Anyways, we add in a couple more plants, and then I also, at this residential area, we don't have to change much, you know, because it already existed. Anyways, we rearrange this, and then we add in an actual gym with, like, weightlifting equipment and treadmills, and I managed to fit in a boxing area, and then I later tried to see if I could fit, like, a cheerleading thingamajig somewhere. Upstairs, it doesn't work, so we stick one in there as well. As you shall see, right here. Voila. And now, after adding in some plants, we start designing the, food source storage room level. Really, it's just, so we're on the lowest level possible. but we're making it outside themed. So, we put in some creative stuff as well. We add some, like, painting pieces and stuff, but the main thing are the, like, stalls. We add a, gardens. We add animals, and we also add a little, sitting gathering area, like the cafeteria, except rustic. So, we appeal to all of your sensibilities here, except the fact that on the lowest floor, you can't put in a pond. I wanted my Sims to be able to fish, and they do eventually via putting a pond on a residential floor, which is incredibly annoying, and it looks incredibly awkward. I'm going to be real. This is not a good design choice that I make, but I do it because I want my Sims to fish, okay? They will fish, and they will garden, and they will have cows and chickens, and they shall thrive. That is how this apocalypse is going to go. Eventually, once I get to that designing point, as you can see, I am struggling. That is the main thing that is happening here. Aha! You see me start working on fitting the pond in, eventually. Yes, I am placing the pond on the residential floor. Boy, oh boy, was this was a doozy. This was a bad. I don't know why I did this. It happens though, and my Sims get fish. I think they are able to fish in this thing. I might have added this and you can't even fish from it. I do not know. But it's there. They have water. You know what? No, actually, the water isn't important. They have a pool. This is really just this is just awkward. That's oh boy. Oh, I do put some actual grass down. They don't. Do they get walls? I think they just get white walls. They don't get any fun outside walls. They do get hay bales to sit on those. So really, what more do you need?